Aloha everyone. So today I just wanted to come on here and talk about how you know your Kundalini is awakened, or certain things that change in your physical, spiritual, mental bodies after you have a Kundalini experience. So it's a big difference between talking about it and actually having an experience, because once you have an experience, your entire world is different. Like, I don't know how to explain it. That's actually what this video is going to be. Just me trying to explain the differences and subtleties I've noticed. Some people have always been in tune with their psychic gifts since childhood because they might have been raised in a nurturing environment where it was, you know, encouraged or protected. Being able to move every vertebra and also just being in tune with your spine is another way to awaken this energy. So when it first awakens, it's definitely not a serpent energy. It feels like I felt like I was gonna die when I had that experience because it was so intense, and even a few hours after, I was like, I don't know, my whole body was vibrating and it was so intense that I couldn't even ground myself, and I felt like I was going to explode or some shit, or turning Super Saiyan. What I've noticed after I had that experience is I've been hypersensitive to everything in terms of not just empathic, but also like my physical body. If something is off, if your nervous system isn't right, then you're in tune with it and you're going to be able to correct it. A lot of people are so desensitized because they create trauma in their body with their diets and their lifestyle, and not working out, not exercising or moving the lymph and the water and the blood in the body, which are all necessary things. So another thing that sparked my experience I talked about was cold showers and sun gazing. So sun gazing is something that awakens all your chakras through the higher ones, okay? So I've been doing it for like a year maybe, but then I decided to sun gaze at noon or 1 o'clock that day, and that's really what sparked, like, brought in enough energy from the higher realms to make the lower ones meet in the middle. Another thing is that your body temperature runs really hot. I went to massage school out here. I did that for like a year or two, and something I was able to do that I noticed other people weren't is warm my hands up just with my mind. So it was easier for me to warm these muscles up because I was able to channel like heat through my hands. And another thing is being able to intuitively heal other people, because your Kundalini or Shakti, feminine energy, is this regenerative life force energy. So it's able to really transform, well, it does transform your entire reality. And it's in subtle ways if you're spiritually aware, but it's actually like noticeable ways, because I feel like after you have that experience, you're just not the same. And another thing is being in touch with your sexuality. You know the power of it, you know how to use it to create and how to transmute and how to channel it into whatever you want to make. And so art has always been a big part of my life, but I feel like after I had my Kundalini experience, my artwork is on a different level than before. Like, I don't know, I feel like I channel certain things, and that's another thing. A lot of creative people who feel like they channel frequencies from higher dimensions and it's something else that's speaking through them. That's another sign. So do you ever wake up in the middle of the night with these creative visions that you have to get out of bed, unless otherwise you can't sleep if you don't get up and write everything down, or downloads and shit? So after you have a Kundalini experience, you get downloads like all the time from the ether, just out of nowhere. And that's definitely something that I feel like is constant since then. And I remember like synchronicities too. It's like it's a whole different timeline shift, because you have more energy conducting in your electromagnetic field in your light body, that people are also drawn to this energy. So another thing is people might compliment you a lot of times about your energy, or I love your energy, or you're like the sun. So yoga has been such a huge part of my spiritual journey, and I've done it since I was like 16 consistently, so it's like over 10 years. And I think the main thing is that it makes you aware of your chakras and how you can, like, different ways to unblock them and stuff, because really it's not just a physical workout. You're working all, like, your spiritual, your light body, your aura, your emotional, mental. Everything is being like purged and released and moved around and rearranged, and you're letting the cosmic divine intelligence tell you how to move through the poses. So your nervous system is also a big key to this, because before I was having my Kundalini awakening experience, it was a lot of like tingling sensations, and also just you would feel very lightheaded at times. Okay, this was something that I experienced, maybe because I was vegan then, but it's also because your body isn't able to fully channel or be a conductor of all the energy that is being awakened all at once. So some people, I know they see spirits since they were children. I know some people astral project and lucid dream since they were like 8 or 9. You might not even need a Kundalini experience to smack you into alignment, because they might have always been awake, or especially if you've been super creative since you were young. You know, it's interesting that a lot of the Hindus talked about Kundalini energy, and they have like the nadis, and they talk about the Ida and Pingala, the feminine and the masculine, and they go into detail about all the, like, the studying and how they were yogis and everything, which the first yogis are actually in ancient Egypt. I think it's interesting how it really comes down to genetics as well, because the original Kundalini reptilian energy, humans are hybrids, okay? So we were a extraterrestrial GMO lab experiment created by the primates that were here on this planet, the hominids, which were, and also extraterrestrial DNA, like the reptilians, okay? So it's really not anything to fear, because it's also what gives us the power that's all or nothing mentality, and it's about survival. So we have 3 brains: the neocortex, the emotional brain, which is the mammalian, and the reptilian brain, which is the survival, like the lower brainstem. And this comes back to your nervous system, because fight or flight is when you're in a sympathetic state, where you're panicking, where you're nervous, where you're at work or something. That's the energy where your body isn't able to heal itself, and that's the reptilian brain. But then when you are able to relax and get into deep parasympathetic state, that's where healing happens. So your nervous system is the tree of life, and it's also like connected to your main chakra centers, as well as the 12 signs, 13 signs in astrology. So the 13 being the singularity point, the heart center, the 0 point, where it's a void, right? And this is where it creates everything. It's like a pulling force. So something about your nervous system is that it has the ability to adapt, and when you train your mind through situations like cold showers, the better your nervous system is able to adapt, the better your whole entire being is able to receive the spiritual upgrades that's coming from the sun. So yeah, that's all I wanted to share today. Thanks for tuning in. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, and peace. I hope you have a beautiful day.